Many software companies have complained that they are finding it difficult to get good developers. In a world of 27 million odd software developers growing at the rate of half a million or even more every year, maybe the current system is no longer creating them. But why? You may not like the metaphor I'm gonna give right now. My apologies in advance, but I have to give this example to explain. Imagine you are in a public place, a mall, a museum, a busy town square, or any public attraction, and you see someone holding a ring on his knees is proposing someone. What do you think the reaction will be of the crowd, the public who are there witnessing this? It's a no brainer. The reaction will be clap, clap, and clap. This clap is the approval of whatever is happening right now in front of them. And somehow we are programmed to do so. I don't know why. I can safely say that, based on my own experience and whatever I have seen in social media, more than 90% of the people will be clapping, giving their approval of whatever is happening in front of them right now. I know what you might be thinking. What's my problem? Am I jealous? Well, it's not about being jealous, it's about the behavior and its impact. Behavior of the crowd. Imagine a crowd which is having no relation with the person giving the proposal and the person receiving the proposal, and they don't know anything about them. Not only this, whatever decision they take will have no impact on the crowd because crowd is not the stakeholder. And in all probability, the crowd will forget about them in a day or two. And still they clap. And this clap is intended to create a kind of peer pressure or public pressure for a positive outcome. And all of you know what is the meaning of positive outcome over here. Maybe that's the reason, all these things are being done in public more often than not right now in these times. And in a nutshell, the public will neither take credit nor the responsibility of any good or bad outcome. Okay. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What this has to do with creating amazing software developers. Before I get into that, I need to tell you about my story of how I became a software developer. Okay. And then you can connect the dots. When I started my journey as a software developer, learning software or becoming a programmer was a bit difficult than it is today. The choice of languages were C, C++, and Java, and if you are working in C and C++, pretty much you have to take care of everything, memory management to CPU management, pretty much everything. And at that point of time, there were limited or no better way of doing things or best way of doing things which you can blindly copy paste. It was not there, and you had to create things. And if you managed to create something, you created something, it used to go to production. The support systems which we have today, like blogs, Stack Overflow, and ChatGPT more recently, was not there. Which means if you really wanted to understand some crux of some programming practices, you actually need to find a good book or a good or intelligent programmer. So, in summary, what I want to say is that I learned things the hard way. But here I want to quote something: learn things the easy way, learn for a few days, learn things the hard way, learn it for your life. And I'm happy that I learned the hard way because whatever I am today is only and only because of my hard work, which is paying me today. And that's one of the primary reasons why I am able to come in front of all of you and state these things. I know you will be inclined to make a conclusion that I am trying to say today's software developers are not working as hard as they should be. No, I'm not. Instead, what I'm gonna say will shock you. They are actually prevented from doing so. Yes, you heard it right. Today's software developers are being prevented from working hard. And The crowd, which I talked about earlier by giving you a metaphor, plays a very big role in this. Because if you look around you, there will be tons of things which says that don't try hard, you have an easy way out. So I know you will ask, am I sure? Yes, I am. Let me explain that to you. I'm working in software for more than 20 odd years. Imagine I'm giving you a suggestion. The suggestion is this. I started my journey in C++, but I'll recommend you to learn Python because that is easy. Now, at the onset, one may think that it's an honest suggestion and some of you would like to follow that suggestion, but hold on for a moment. Who am I to say that you learn the easy things first? Shouldn't it be your choice? Of course, as a person who has worked in the industry for 20 odd years, I can give my honest assessment, but the choice should be yours. It should not be mine. So if I give this kind of judgment, this was similar to saying that I don't trust you that you can follow the, hard path. It should be your choice, not mine. And this is where I say something called crowd effect comes into picture. The public pressure or peer pressure comes into picture. Now, the pressure is applied on organizations, on individuals. Let's talk about organizations. The explosive growth of software and software developers leads to creation of an ecosystem, and all of us know what happens once an ecosystem takes place. The ecosystem decides what is right, what needs to be done, how it should be done, what is the criteria for success. And because of this ecosystem, we are not only having frameworks and libraries, we also have lots of laws. Laws like object oriented programming, design patterns, extreme programming, test driven development, how to do intra process and network communication, how to do DevOps, the small cycles and trunk based development, etc. etc. And most of the software development organizations have codified these laws, which means today a software developer is just working on a very small part in an assembly line, and you can imagine how much one can learn just by being a part of an assembly line. The problem is that you cannot change an individual element in the assembly line. It will disturb the whole assembly line, which means somebody needs to be thinking in a broader way and must have the capability and opportunity to implement that. How many of us gonna have that? That's one of the reasons why we do not create amazing software developers. Now let's talk about the impact of crowd on individuals. Things have changed a lot in last few years, from blogs to videos to, short form contents like reels. We are living in an era of instant gratification. The software development field is exceptionally inclusive. Anyone with a laptop can learn it, and people want to do it as fast as possible. And if you look into internet, blogs, YouTube, you will find lots and lots of content on how to be someone as soon as possible, a programmer as soon as possible, a database administrator as soon as possible, a database designer as soon as possible, a machine learning engineer as soon as possible, so that you can get into that ecosystem as soon as possible because you want to be part of that ecosystem. However, all of us forget one thing. Easy doesn't mean complete and comprehensive. It just means bare minimum. Yes, you heard it right. If you're learning something in an easy way, it's not complete, it's not comprehensive, it's just bare minimum. And this bare minimum learning attitude is one of the major reasons for not having amazing software developers. I think you got the gist of it, but before I close, let me tell you something extremely important. People say that Python is an easy language, so go ahead and learn. And as someone who has created a production level software, I can say that Python is easy as long as you limit yourself to the bare minimum. But as soon as you will move to being complete and comprehensive, you'll have to work hard, no matter what you select, what you choose. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. See you again.